All right. So welcome, tier two. Hard to believe, right? Well, tier two-ish, I should say, because Kathy, um, I hope I don't put you on the spot by saying this. Kathy, no, I can introduce you. Um, Kathy was in my program before it was a program. Kathy is actually one of the very first people that did my meal plans before they were even programs back in, what did we decide? 2000?
I I think it was like 15.
Yeah,
Not,
yeah,
it was a while
a while
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
So, and she found her way back. So that was kind of exciting. So I guess you are tier two because you were never in a tier originally. You were never a grade.
No, you just did like gave us a month. You didn't have
Yes,
tears.
I didn't.
You
It was
didn't have tears or
mhm,
anything, and I lost weight on what we were doing then, and
mhm.
I managed to keep it off until COVID.
Yep.
So
Dang,
I
dang
then I
COVID.
googled and found you. So I was very lucky. I was very happy.
Which is crazy. So I always love when people find me after they were originals before Get You Fit even. I don't think I was Get You Fit yet. No, I wasn't. So
No, it was all via email.
uh-huh,
Everything was like email. That was
yeah,
it.
yeah. And I still want you to send me the original meal plan that I gave you. I'd love
Oh, I
to see
will. Yes, I have it saved. I will.
I'd love to see that. Anyway, so welcome to tier two. I'm glad that you guys all made it, not only to the meeting, but to also tier two. So tonight, I'm pretty much going to just go through some program highlights. I'm going to go through some things that are going to be different about tier two than tier one when you originally joined. At this point, you guys are part of the program. You guys understand your expectations. You understand what the program is about. And initially, when people join, and just today, I think I had probably 4 people sign up. It's hard for me to explain to people what they're actually signing up for because it's not your typical diet. It's not even a lifestyle. It's kind of a culmination of so many different things. And I think it actually takes. I guess I should ask you guys. It takes a good month or two to really start to understand what you are getting yourself into, um, because it's an education. I feel like I'm teaching you so many things, and so once you enter into tier two, that's when you're really starting to piece things together and really starting to find yourselves really and understanding that you're not just here to lose weight. You're starting to go, okay, I get it. This is a structure. You're making goals for yourself. And I know with a lot of you in what you declared in your tier two statements, that's exactly what I saw. It was, aha, this is what I want for myself for the next 12 weeks. Because it's a process, and in the whole trust the process thing, I think goes in so many different angles. And not only for Kathy, who just shared with us that she kept the weight off for years and years until COVID, but so many of others of us make it so long until something occurs and we get sidetracked and gain the weight back. And so when I created the tiers, I did it so that we don't go back and we don't scale back and we make this permanent. And so part of the structure of tier two and tier three is to make those changes permanent. And that goes way further than just the food and the diet. And of course, we're going to talk about different elements in food and diet. We're going to talk about different facets of diet as far as nutrition. Tier one, we really I started to do out with just eat. Don't worry about anything besides that. And then we started talking about proteins and carbs and fats. In tier two, I am going to talk a little bit more about fiber. We're going to touch upon sodium. At this point, many of you know what sodium is. Many of you have made it part of your regular routine to keep an eye on the sodium. And then also sugars. And sugars are a huge factor. I talk about them all the time. But in tier one, we don't talk about how they can be manipulated with the fibers so that you can have sugars safely without them affecting your weight. So those are all things that are kind of coming up for you guys. So so I'm gonna go through the presentation. I did add a lot of things to the website. I did add some features for you guys for accessibility that you might not even know about yet. So I want to show you these things, and then I'll let you guys ask questions about up and comings. Okay. Oh, here we go. And hopefully my computer will not. Last night in the middle of my sugar workshop, my computer shut off and I lost everybody. It was no fun. All right, wrong one. Let's try that again. Okay, so see if I can get this faster here. Okay, so trusting the old process. At this point, we have a relationship. We understand each other. I hope that you know at this point that hiding from me is not the way to go. I think that at this point, you know that the more you communicate with me, to me, the more I'm going to give to you in return. So of course, the more you question, the more you want to know, the more inquisitive you are, the more you're going to receive. So don't be shy to that because I don't like to overwhelm. And that's one thing from my standpoint. Sometimes when I give too much, I'll get feedback from members that'll say, this is just so overwhelming. I can't, it's too much information. So I kind of keep myself at bay and take command from each person. So from my standpoint, if you knew how much information some members have gotten from me, seeing who's here, I think you guys are all around the average, but there are people that have almost drained me. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I do not mean that in a bad way. I mean it in a good way. I think it's great. They have learned so much, but they're asking, they're constantly asking. And I'm a resource. I will give them. So don't be afraid to ask for information if you are interested. And I'm not asking about like, oh, I want to know about, vitamins and minerals, just stuff about you. If you're wondering why you're not losing weight, or if you're wondering what you could do better about you, if you want me to dig into your MyFitnessPal more, I will absolutely do that. So, all right, so I want to talk about meal plans, their organization, structure, macros, and calories. And obviously, these are all things that you are familiar with, but starting with month 4, 5, and 6, you're going to notice that the plans, especially once we get into month 5, aren't going to be quite as structured, where the recipes are going to be made portioned out like they were in month 1 and 2. So you're going to notice that things are going to be in batches, which is nice. So instead of making one single serving of oatmeal, you might be able to make a batch of oatmeal for the week, which is great. However, a couple things. it's on you to make sure you portion that out. It's the best thing in the world to just make one huge batch of something on Monday. But when you have run out of it on Wednesday and you realize that you've eaten 5 portions of it in 3 days, then that's not a good thing. So you have to be really careful with that. And what happens in tier 2 is we get sloppy. I think I've created this developmental chart, just like the teachers and doctors have like the developmental ages of children and learning and growth. I have that of dieters, and the developmental chart of dieters, month 1 and 2 is highly motivated, precise measuring. Month 3, we get a little sloppy. Month 4, we're pretty motivated still, but month 5 is the cocky stage. I've talked about this before, where we aren't measuring it like we used to. I mean, we'll pick up some random, cup in the kitchen and go, this looks like about a cup, and scoop up the oatmeal with this, and it's not a cup. And so that's where we get sloppy. So keep your guard up on that. And then, of course, discussion of macros and calories. Your calories aren't going to change. Your calories won't change the entire time you're losing weight, most likely, unless I feel there's an issue. The only time I'm going to change your calories is when you are at maintenance and it's time to increase them, if you do this right. So this is not the type of diet where we reduce your calories, and that's typically what people are used to, is reduction, and that is not what we do. And I'm pretty sure most of you know that by now. All right, so the webinars, obviously, looking at our attendance tonight, I'm not going to do them live until fall. Schedules are crazy in the summer, people are on vacation, and there's something to be said about taking that little break from them, because then come fall, it's waiting room only, and it is a little exciting to have that happen. I am going to do individual recordings for each tier. So tier 1, you don't need to watch those all over again, but you can if you need to review those. And I'm going to show you how you can access them. And they're not going to be the same ones that you've already watched. I'm doing new ones for them. But if there is something specific to tier 2, about, for example, fiber, sugar, being precise with measuring, I'm going to do a separate webinar for tier 2. You will be receiving that in an email, and it will go on the tier 2 learning page, and I'm going to show you where that is. It is not on the tier 2 page. I've created a separate video page for tier 2, and it's really easy to find, and I'll show you that. And then I thought I would start doing some cooking tutorials, instead of doing, since I'm not doing the live webinars, actual cooking tutorials where I'm doing a recipe and taking you through the steps of it to show you how easy a lot of these recipes are. Because I think sometimes we look at recipes and we get overwhelmed by the look of the list of ingredients, and most of them are ridiculously easy. In fact, if you noticed, I clocked in today 3 minutes late. Do you know why? Because at 5:55, as I was coming down the stairs, my husband said, "So what's for dinner?" And I had no plan. This is no joke. I really wish I would have videotaped it. I opened up the freezer to a frozen brick solid piece of pork. I put it in the microwave for 1 minute. I threw that in the crock pot after it thawed out enough for me to get it out of the cellophane. I threw that in the Instapot with raw pinto beans and a can of salsa. and water, and then I put rice in the rice cooker. And I got down here by 6:03, and that's the truth. And so I need to start doing videos like that so that you guys can see that I had no plan, and I didn't even know that there was pork in the freezer. It just happened to be there because I always make sure that there is pork in the freezer. So I'm going to start doing things like that for convenience, so that you can realize that my recipes aren't as hard as they sometimes look. Okay, so the member website. You at this point know that there is member pages, but then there's also member lesson. And at this point, I'm going to move over to the actual website so that I can show you this. This is new. I worked on this over the weekend. So let me skip on over here and show you this. Okay, so when you log on, first off, you have to log on as you here. And if you have not done this before and you're confused, you just have to create a login. And if you need help, just reach out to me and I'll help you. Okay, so once you've logged on here, you go to Get You Great Members. And there is the Get You Great site. So the regular site here is for everybody. And this is where I will typically just post information for everybody to see. Okay. I have here the workout schedules. If you have not looked at these yet, I've had a lot of people forget that they're here. There's beginner, intermediate, advanced. There's really nothing special about them except that they're a schedule, and you can print them. You can click on the links and get right to the workouts. There's suggestions for how many days of cardio, how many days of strength, and you could print them, you could save them and create your own Google Doc, however you want to do them, but they are there for you, and they will always be there. The essential ingredients list, also, you could click on that and always print yourself a fresh copy. That's always going to be there for you as well. And then any other information that I might have. If any of you want a mentor, this is open to you. It's completely free. These are the Get You Fit ambassadors. They're all people that have been through the program. They will not replace my role. They will just enhance your experience. So having a mentor will simply just be another person to guide you from the perspective of a member. They just went through the program. Brenda just became a loyal member. She literally just went through the program. So she understands the perspective of maybe the struggle or not understanding an aspect or not understanding a meal prep. Laura struggled for years and years and years. She didn't lose any weight on my program for, I think, 2 years. She just finally lost 15 pounds this January after being on the program for 2 years. So she gets it too, you know, so it's just, again, a different perspective. So if you want to read their story, you can click on their image and hear their story and how they got started and their struggle. And if you would like to work with any of them, just click there, which will lead you to me and I will lead you to them. Okay. And basically all that's going to be is just an extra little person to talk to. Okay. All right. So back to this. When you go up here, you're going to go to your tier 2 page. The tier 2 page is simply where you find the meal plans as I post them. You're also going to find recordings, the latest recording. But what I've done is I've put a lessons page. Now, as a tier 2 member, you can access all the tier 1 lessons, all the tier 2 lessons, and then obviously all the webinars. So let's go back and look at tier 1 lessons. They received the perfect plate. You guys all saw the perfect plate, if you remember last season. It was the one where I talked about the portions and proportions on your plate. I redid it for them this time. It wasn't in front of a live audience, so there's no, questions from them. It's to the point, it's 30 minutes, it's quicker. So if you want a refresher on this, it's right here. So as I add to theirs, they're gonna be here. As I add to yours, I'm gonna put them here. And there's nothing here yet, but there will be. I will never add to this without telling you because it's so buried on the website that you would have to dig. So you will always get a email, a post, notification, something that there has been something put up on the page. Okay, so these are all there. And if you are doing this from a desktop, I've created these quick links also so that you can access different areas of the website right from this page, specifically the workout channels that you have access to. And so you do all have access to Evolve and DMB free of cost as part of your membership. And if you want to access all of them, you can go here. Of course, you can also go up here, but I've just made it easier and put that there. Okay. So questions on the website and the lessons page. So obviously after the 12 weeks, there's going to be a lot of little tutorials and all that there. One other thing I've added is I've put links to the Trustology podcast and my radio, the wish list and the Zoom room here. My Trustology podcast, I do from home. See, right here. I want to tell you the difference between the Trustology podcast and the radio. The Get You Fit radio is a full half hour. It's informative. It's great. Trustologies are 10 minutes and they're 10, 15 minutes. And these I do almost daily based on something that inspires me from a conversation, a Zoom, a text message that I have from one of you guys. So today I did one because somebody was upset that she does not see her progress in the mirror. And she looks in the mirror and she doesn't see her hard work. And I see these conversations with her, with you guys, with other people. And when I see more than 3 or 4 or 5 people complaining about the same thing, I had somebody else today say, who's lost 40 pounds, say, will I ever see results in my lower body? There's another one. I said, you know what, that's it. I'm doing it on the, so the Trustology is basically based on you guys. So that one is a good one. It's going to hit home because it's probably something that you are doing, guilty of, thought of, participating in. A lot of scale stuff, a lot of self-sabotage stuff that we do. So definitely check those out. They're quick and they're pretty good. All right, so I'm going to go back here to my presentation and are you guys seeing the screen again? Yes, okay. So kind of covered the 12-week schedule and the rotation of the Ignites. So if you have questions on how to access these, definitely let me know. Okay, so the macros. You guys know since the beginning of time, the Get You Fit trifecta in knowing that you should get your 25 grams of protein per meal, your carbs, and your fat breakdown. Well, in tier 2, I'm a lot more, how should I say this, in your face maybe about it. So when I look at your logs and you're not hitting these things and you're not losing weight, you understand the logic behind it more. So as a tier 1 member, I might look at your log and go, well, are you following the plan or are you just following the calories? As a tier 2 member, I'm going to come right out and say your protein is lacking in breakfast. And even though you're following the plan, let's just say, and you are eating the 2 eggs that's in the plan, if you're if your protein is still under 25, I might suggest that you add something to that to get it to 25 if you're not losing weight, and if everything else is perfect. So beware of that, because you're going to start seeing me articulating those things more. Fats is a big one. I would say 9 times out of 10, people don't hit their fats. I don't know if it's because we're afraid of fat. I don't know if it's because I know it's not because we don't love peanut butter, but we are very. I look at everyone's logs, and everyone's logs are deficient in fat. Melanie, are you listening? Um, but
I
will
am listening.
I will tell you, just myself this last week, I dropped 2 pounds for no reason. And the only thing I changed was I increased my fat, not on purpose, but because I'm doing this experiment with flax seeds to I'll tell you guys off camera. But I'm doing this experiment with flax seeds, and nothing else has changed, and it's remarkable. So I'm adding fat, I'm adding calories, and I lost weight, and the weight that I've lost is fat. I can tell because I know my body, and I know how my body fat. Uh, I just know my body fat, and so you cannot be afraid of fat if it's the healthy fat. So beware of that, because I'll have a watchful eye on that. And it is 16 to 18 grams per meal. Okay. And we will talk more and more about that as we investigate your Fitness Pals. But in order to do this, you need to be logging. So if you're not logging, then none of that is relevant. Okay, so as far as my Fitness Pal goes, what I do look at is when somebody says, look at my log. I know everybody thinks I look at this, right? The foods. It's actually humorous. I don't even look at this. I do eventually. But the very first thing I look at is this down here, this last line item. I will look at the total carbs, the total fat, the total protein. Sometimes I don't even look at the total calories. I just look at fat, protein, carbs. And then I'll go to the next page, fat, protein, carbs, go to the next page. Then when I start seeing the inconsistencies, I might go up and look at the ingredients. That's how important these macros are down here. Not to say that this isn't important, but the first thing I'm going to do is look at these things. Now, this person here, if you notice, they only have 30 fat grams in a day. Now, knowing that you should have 15 to 18 in a meal, 30 in a day is extremely deficient. This person is a loyal member. She turned loyal, I think, 3 months ago, so she's been with me for a year. She has lost, I think, 40 pounds, which is 40 more than she ever thought she would lose. She was very, very difficult case in losing weight initially. And now she's stuck. She's not losing weight. She hasn't lost a pound in probably 3 months. And every single time I go on her log, this is what I see. And she just keeps reverting back to this low fat. And it's just so interesting because she followed the plan to get here, but she has this fear of fat, and I absolutely understand it. But I'm kind of doing a little bit of an experiment with her, and I'm letting her do this. I'm letting her do this for a good 3 weeks before I say anything. She's been vacationing and everything, but I'm going to change this, and we're going to see her weight drop. It's going to drop because of the fat. There's not only no fat, but the fat that she's using isn't the right fat. So if you have 4 grams of fat in a meal and that's coming from cheese, then that's not the right fat. So you might as well have no fat. So when I say fat, it has to be from the right fat source. And those are the essentials, which are all on that chart that I just showed you. So I'm not suggesting that you go put cheese whiz and everything. It needs to be the right types of fat. So her dinner here that had 6 grams of fat, but all 6 came from her filet mignon. Her dinner had no monosaturated fat. Her dinner had 0. Her lunch had her only fat came from her yogurt that basically had 0, or I'm sorry, her afternoon snack had 0 anyways, 0 across the board. Her lunch was a Starbucks egg bites, which I guess that might be some fat from the egg. And her morning snack was almonds and cheese. So of her 30 grams, probably 8 of them were the right fat. This person will not lose weight. It's crazy, isn't it? But she won't. So that's what I'm looking at. This person might have lost weight as a tier 1, but not happening now. So be watchful on that. Okay, it's really important. All right, so looking ahead, what are you to be excited about? Well, maintenance, of course. And I know for some of you, maintenance is a ways away or feels like it's a ways away, but there's a couple types of maintenance in my book. There's one maintenance, which means you are done losing weight. You've hit your happy place and you're gonna stay there. And then there's the other maintenance where you are content with where you are, but you know that you are not wanting to stay there forever. You might have another 50 pounds to lose, but you're happy where you are for the summer, or you're happy where you are to get through Christmas, or you're happy where you are until your daughter's wedding passes. Do you get what I'm saying? That holding spot. So think of this process as not a staircase that goes straight down, as instead one of those stairwells in the back of a hotel downtown Chicago or wherever that goes down, platform, down, platform. So you can decide what floor you want to kind of get off on and hang out at for a while. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with getting off at a floor, even if you have 30 more pounds to lose. That is a refreshing break sometimes from the constant force of feeling like you are on this weight loss goal. It's draining. It's draining and it's not healthy. Instead of getting off of the diet and doing what everybody does, and that's gaining the weight back, get off and maintain. Use what you've learned and just maintain. You could maintain your weight and not gain it back by really not logging, by not, you can go off of the plan and not gain the weight back. What will cause you to gain the weight back is when you self-sabotage, when you tell yourself that you've blown it, you're mad at yourself. Why have you done this? Here's just another diet that you blew, and you start overindulging. So change that about your mindset. Looking back at my path, I got off at every floor, every decade I got off at and stayed there for years. And lounged out there for years. And when I got tired of hanging out at that decade, I got back into the stairwell and went down some more. And that's really the most ideal way to do it. So increasing calories. Once you are there, you can increase your calories, and I will guide you when you get there. It has to be done systematically, but you and anybody can do it. I have a gal that got down to a weight that she never thought she'd get down to by eating 1,400 calories, and now she's up to 1,850. And she's like, okay, I can't add anymore. She was just so fulfilled at 1,850. And it's a scary thing to do, but we just add like 80 a week. See what happens. 80 a week, see what happens. And it's not 80 a week of marshmallows and, you know, gumdrops. It's 80 a week of the right things. Um, Logging for the future. Most of you are way too, it's premature to discuss the logging for the future, but in case you are wondering, if you are in this destiny of forever logging, you're not. You will be able to free yourself of the logging. But like any investment, put your time in now, and then later you won't need to. You will build enough skills and skill set to know what you have to do so that you don't have to log. I haven't logged in I don't know how many years. And I really feel confident enough that I don't need to. It was a scary transition to make. I think I was drawing like stick numbers on my hand for a while once I moved out of the logging from paper to, you know, but you'll get there and it's wonderful not to have to do it. But for right now, put your time in. And then something really exciting, which again, for you guys, isn't that far away. But I started putting together and it's actually complete. I've wanted to do it for a while, but it was just a very overwhelming task. I've put together, now that I've finished months 1 through 9, and I think you all joined after I transitioned the plans. I recently rewrote all of the meal plans after you guys joined. And so what you guys have as meal plans are all new. What I recently did was I took months 1 through 9, and I synthesized them and I put them together into one huge giant cookbook. And so what that will look like for you guys, once you get to month 9, which is kind of nice because it also comes with the loyal. I have it right here. I put all of the breakfasts together, and I made them all uniform. And then I put all of these snacks together. So it is literally one gigantic, enormous cookbook. And no one has this yet because I'm still in the editing phases. You could see there's a hamburger missing there. I kind of do this during, you know, all my free time. But I, I am gonna look into possibly getting this professionally printed and bounded for anybody that wants to buy it off the website. If not, I'm going to have it available via PDF for you guys to download and print it. But it is and will be nice for you guys to have all the recipes in one spot. And of course, for now, you guys already have the startup, which is the first 4. So I guess you guys have half of it. So you can see that it's, you know, it starts to get overbearing when you start collecting all the recipes. So that's something exciting to look up to. And then obviously, I told you about the Toastology. Are you guys seeing the other screen again? No? Okay. I maneuvered that too quick. Hang on. And then finally, as you all probably remember, you do get a mid-session review. Of course, I'm more than happy to meet with you more than just once, but because you're not right out of the gate new, you're welcome to sign up for this at any time. So, you know, many of you might want to sign up for this now and might want to do a goal setting startup meeting now. So don't feel like you have to wait till halfway through the session to do this. Some of you are teachers, you have time off now, you're motivated now, you want to meet now. All you have to do is just go up on to bookings and go under get you great member review and set it up. This is always available to you. You know, you do have one session in your account so that you won't be asked for a code. But like I said, typically if there's an issue and you want to meet again, I've I've never had anybody abuse the privilege where they're asking to meet with me, you know, weekly or anything. And if there was a reason to meet with me weekly, I would probably do it. So nonetheless, feel free to sign up for that when you're ready. Okay. So questions about up and coming, questions about what I talked about, questions about what you're excited about you, anything else?
So I have a question on the blogs posts. So I've
Mhm.
kind of been like digging into stuff. Am I right in that if it's on a blog post, it doesn't matter what tier you're in, you can have it?
Yep,
Okay, that's
yep,
where I was confused
yeah.
because I was like, oh,
So when I design those, I they're kind of like a double, they're dual purpose. One, I do them for my non-members, you know, for my general, you know, audience. And two, when I do them, I always make them with the right portions and proportions so that you guys can all use them. Yeah. And then thirdly, it's frustrating for me when I have already made my meal plans and I come up with this awesome recipe and I'm like, "Ah," you know, I don't want to redo month one and throw it in there. And you know, as you guys go through the program, and you've already been through all 9 months, it's a good way to just always add new recipes to it. Yeah. So always anything on there you can use. Other questions? Which reminds me, did you guys all know that I added the URLs to the recipes? Um, correct? Do you need me to show that? Jen, do you know how I added that? And I meant to show that earlier. So, on your recipes now, if you notice on your meal plans, I'm just gonna pull up uh, the one that I had up here. On your meal plans now, not for the breakfast, lunches, and snacks, because those are single servings. But if you go down to dinners, if you go down to the dinners, boy, this book is huge. Um, you'll notice that there are URLs. Um, where are the dinners? Hang on. Did I not put the dinners in this yet? Oh, the dinners aren't in here yet. See, I'm not done with it. Oh, here they are. Okay. So you'll notice that there are URLs underneath the recipe title. Every single dinner on all your plans now have this. I've gone back to month one, month two, month three. If you need newer copies, you can get them off the website. So now, instead of you typing in all of these ingredients on MyFitnessPal, all you have to do is, oops, all you have to do is copy this link. So copy it. And then you have to go to FitnessPal. So let me open up FitnessPal. Go to recipes, which, and you could also do this on your phone. It's just a little bit more complicated, but you can absolutely do it on your phone. Go to recipes. And then right here, paste. And then import. And it dumped everything in. I know. So the only thing is a couple of things. One, sometimes, and I couldn't figure out what the glitch was. Most of the time it will put the serving sizes in. Now this time it didn't. It left it here, and I can't figure out what the glitch is on that. So in this case, you have to change it to 6 and delete this. Then you have to hit match ingredients, and then you just have to make sure that these are all correct, because every once in a while you'll get some wacky, you know, number that makes no sense. So make sure that this is correct. And then you can see here that it's 244 calories per serving. Save it, and it is done. So, okay. It's a huge time saver, and now there's should be no excuses for not plugging in those recipes. And then if you want to edit it, you can edit and then make changes too later. Super easy to do. So definitely take advantage of that. That was a huge huge score when I figured that one out this time. So all right, so any other questions? None? Okay. Well, I guess on final note, and I think you guys all know this, but and I kind of mentioned it earlier, definitely keep yourselves on my radar. I think of all the people that are here right now, you guys are on my radar, but a few of you are not on my radar enough. So get yourself on my, that's right. The more you're on my radar, the more watchful I'm going to be. And people that are on my radar, I kid you not, for the hundreds of people that I have, if I don't hear, and I'm just going to pick on you, Kathy, not you, Kathy, the other Kathy Turner. Kathy Turner checks in with me all the time. Oh wait, oh my God, I have a Kathy Turner and Kathy Trimmer. Kathy Trimmer checks in with me all the time. If she doesn't check in with me for like 2 days, I literally am like, where's Kathy? Where'd she go? Is she okay? Oh my God, where's Kathy? Kathy Turner doesn't check in with me enough. Kathy Turner, 2 weeks can go by and I would not even notice. So you got to get on my radar. Okay, so get on my radar. Jen, get on my radar. You're halfway on my radar. So Melanie, you're on my radar. Ashley, you're good. That's that. That's everyone else know what else showed up tonight. If you're here, get on my radar. So, okay. Awesome. All right, you guys, we'll keep up the good work. And I will see you on my radar, I guess, in the morning. All right. Have a good night. I'll take pictures of my I could smell my dinner's ready. Yeah. All right, guys. See you
Wait,
later.
what about the flaxseed?
Oh, hang on, let me stop the recording.